So Albus is the bigger one, and that's Julis's dog.
Okay.
And he just stares at me with his little beady eyes.
Double door.
So I'll just walk by him and flip him off. And he stares at me. He has no reaction. I flip him off, and I just keep walking. That dog, man.
We got this thing where we start calling Opie dirty. You're dirty. You're dirty dog. You're dirty. And he's like, no.
Me?
No, I'm not.
What?
I am not.
Listen, Augustus is just so much. You guys know that. Augustus is too
No,
much.
he's not.
He acts like a little dog, but he's
Too much for you.
the biggest dog. Welcome to the Movies with Chill podcast. I'm your host, Chill. Today we'll be reviewing A Few Good Men from 1992. A Few Good Men is a military courtroom drama directed by Rob Reiner and written by Aaron Sorkin, based on an actual code red in Guantanamo Bay.
Wow.
Starring Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore,
Stop. Redo that.
Jack Nicholson.
Why do you say Nicholson?
I don't know.
Did you do it to be funny? You didn't, did you?
I did.
Bullshit.
No, it's Strange Wilderness.
This podcast
There
is
you go.
bullshit.
Bullshit.
Jack
Do you
Nicholson.
remember that when they're sitting around the table?
No.
I didn't watch the movie, so I have no idea what you're talking
we need
about.
To get an update on
I
that.
don't recall it.
I used to know a guy that used to pick up Jack Nicholson's trash can, and they're like, "Who the fuck is Jack Nicholson?"
That's pretty funny, though.
Jack Nicholson.
That's funny.
Demi Moore, Kevin Bacon,
Demi.
Kevin Pollak, James Marshall, J.T. Walsh, and Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this movie.
Ton of people.
Cuba Gooding Jr. too.
Yep.
Ooh.
After 2 U.S. Marines are court-martialed, JAG Corp Lieutenant Junior Grade Daniel Kaffee is selected to represent them in a throwaway case that extends beyond what anyone expected. Tonight, as always, I'm joined by David and Lee. How you boys doing tonight?
What's up?
Hey, he was waiting.
Cut out that little pause.
No, leave the pause. We were staring at each other's eyeballs.
Showdown. Do it. Say the thing. Say the thing.
Oi, oi.
But first, recommendations of the week. What have you guys been watching?
Listen, I watched a movie that, I don't know if we've talked about it before, but I forgot I watched it. It was Charlie Bartlett. Have you ever seen that?
Bartlett.
It sounds very
It has
familiar.
Robert Downey Jr., Anton Yelchin, guy from
yeah.
Star Trek.
That passed away.
Yeah, Kat Dennings.
Okay.
Hope it's this movie. I'm just showing up.
No, I've not watched.
Listen,
Chelsea had me
It's
watch that movie, actually.
super good.
Yeah.
He plays like a rich kid that's way too smart. He's like in private schools and keeps getting kicked out because he starts little illegal businesses, like selling like uppers and downers. But he's super likable. He does everything he possibly can to fit in. And Robert Downey Jr. is, I think he's the principal, and he's starting to date Kat Dennings, and that's his daughter. And Robert Downey Jr. is very much the bad guy in this movie, but you don't blame him.
Right.
He's like, God, I just want to strangle this kid.
Right.
And he really does everything in his power to like ruin him. And so he becomes the bad guy, and throughout it, everyone learns lessons and blah, blah, blah.
course.
But it's good. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
Nice. I mean, besides Agatha and the Penguin, bunch of horror movies
Yeah.
because of Halloween. Like,
Have you
bunch.
seen the Terrifier movies?
I have not.
I haven't either. And I know they're becoming like a thing now. And I know that they're like over the top gruesome. I'm going to eventually have to watch them, though.
They just aren't. That's just not for me. That's not what I look for in horror movies.
No, I agree. But I think that I probably need to see them like out of,
Morbid curiosity.
well, I think, but movie lover necessity.
I gotcha.
I'll watch the first one, and if I don't like it, then maybe not the second one.
Right.
But I've heard so much stuff about how over the top and not terrible, but like I can't believe they did that in the third one.
Right.
Like, holy crap. People recording other people's reaction in the movie theater when they know something's coming up, and like seeing the other people like in shock. Like, I can't believe they did that.
Oh, my gosh.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Crazy. I hit on
One
it
Piece?
before. No. No. Another anime,
You
though.
give up on it?
No. We're still going.
I'm done.
All aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. So here we
Just
go.
Willy Wonka's?
Yeah.
There's no earthly way of knowing.
We did watch Wonka.
I loved Wonka.
The new one?
Yeah,
It was good.
Timothy Chalamet murdered that part.
Yeah,
like,
I was
he's
not
so
expecting
good.
it.
And I swear to God, every time I hear that song at the end, it gets me right in my feels.
Yeah.
Ugh, every time.
Yeah.
One of the best songs ever written.
Logan started watching Matilda the musical.
Yeah, that's fun.
And that was surprisingly good.
Yeah,
Surprisingly
the
good. I was
music in
like,
it is so catchy.
oh, yeah.
It's so good.
And
yeah.
there's one song where they're talking about like the ABCs or something like that, and it's like incorporated throughout the entire song.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, this
The,
is
the hallway
really
scene
good.
where they're all dancing and
It's
it's
solid.
extraordinary. Like
Yeah,
it's so good.
Awesome. I was
Get
gonna
with
say-
it, Lee.
I was going to recommend also Fell Off of Blue Eye Samurai. It just had so much going on. It is such a good freaking show. Blue
Yeah.
Eye Samurai on Netflix. It was
Is that an anime?
It is. It's so
solid.
good. It's so good.
I've heard lots of good things about it.
Yeah.
I love that I'm
lost
giving you the same look you were giving me while we were
Right?
talking about Matilda.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like,
Oh,
never gonna watch it.
yeah. We picked this movie for Veterans Day.
This
and-
was a what are we going to watch?
Yeah.
And I said A Few Good Men, and everyone said, okay.
Fine.
great.
And this was one that I thought I had seen,
Mm-hmm.
and the only scene I have seen is the courtroom scene.
Of
I hadn't
course.
seen anything else
The
that
most
I
famous.
remember, and I went digging in my DVDs, totally own it. I don't ever remember watching this movie.
Wow.
Or maybe I watched it and didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot to it.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first time watching the movie, Lee?
Had to have been 93, 94, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see it in the theaters. I thought on home video afterwards.
You can always tell what 90 movies,
yeah.
the 90s, like it's how they're filmed.
For sure.
It's
There's
And
like
the
a
even
grain
how
to
they're
it.
always the soundtrack.
but it's also like how they're cut and filmed, and they have those like long off shots that
Yep.
like show everything going on in the scene. And
Yep.
yeah, it's
There's a certain
interesting.
grain to it, like the film.
Yeah,
too,
it's
you know what I'm saying?
bright. It has like a bright brightness
Sepia.
to it. Yeah, but it's like they've turned the contrast up in it. Something I don't know.
Yeah. I remember actually watching this with my godfather for the first time. He's a big career Marine guy.
So what did he have to say about Code Reds?
I don't know. I was
They're
7
necessary.
or I was like 7 or 8.
I asked
and I remember
my buddy
watching it
Nick
with it.
last night, who's a Marine.
They're necessary.
I said, "So Code Red's real?" And he went, "Oh yeah."
Oh, yeah.
But he had been drinking, so I didn't want to go get him because
usually
he'll
that kind
trigger,
of
and I don't
thing,
want
though-
I don't want to go. I don't want to deal with it.
Usually that kind of thing, though, is just your platoon, your squad, your whatever.
They're just trying to get you in line.
They're just policing themselves. It usually doesn't come
Yeah.
down from
The top.
This
the
is
top.
extreme
Extreme case.
Usually, Code Reds are you're the one causing us to run a little further.
Right.
You're the one causing us to be out in the rain a little longer.
Right.
Get your shit together.
Quick story.
Right. Done.
I was in basic training in San Antonio in the Air Force, and we had a guy, Farnham, and I've told Calvin this story. He was going into Air Force intelligence, brainiac, apparently. Dumber than a bag of hammers when it came to common sense. Just couldn't get out of his own damn
He was
way.
all book smart.
Yeah, just could not get it
No
together.
street smarts.
So we're doing our nightly dorm guard. So you take a 2-hour shift and you just walk around playing guard. It's dumb. But every night you have to have a night display, which is basically your uniform on display hanging on your locker. And it has to be crisp. It has to be looking sharp. It's all going to be looking great. So he does his shift. He wakes me up. I get up. He goes to bed. I come back around. Dumbass put his uniform on inside out on the hanger. So I woke him up. I was like, Farnham, get your ass out of bed and fix your damn shit. And he does or whatever. But we were this close to having to do something about this kid because he kept screwing up and getting us in trouble. And we were like, dude, if you don't get your shit together, you're going to be going to the infirmary.
And what's frustrating about situations like that, it doesn't mean you don't like the guy.
Right.
But you begin to,
Dude, get your shit together.
well, you build a like resentment towards
Oh,
him.
yeah.
And which then becomes
Especially when he's screwing up and then he gets to sit out.
He's like
and we're running.
he's
or
like, God
push-ups.
damn it, he's a nice guy, but I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
And
So,
I don't want to be around him.
They are necessary, but
Yeah.
extreme cases are extreme cases. Yeah. I don't think we ever would have gone as far as socks and with bars of soap like in Full Metal Jacket.
Sure,
but
I'm sure it's happened.
we
I mean,
definitely
yeah.
would have.
And I'm sure that movie inspired a lot of.
sometimes you get some crazies in there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's military.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you
Trust
get,
me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Had some winners.
Yeah.
And this was the Air Force.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. But I mean, hopefully it changes their life and they have opportunities.
Met a lot of great people in the Air Force.
I never had the balls to do it, so I always appreciate the people that
Yeah,
do it.
Me too.
So,
Me too.
He said doo-doo. Our icebreaker was we have a veteran on the show, Lee.
yeah, thank you for your service,
Thank
buddy.
you for your
Yeah,
service.
all
So,
3 years of it.
Hey,
you go.
it's 3 more years than I did.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good times.
For sure.
It sounds like it.
I loved it. If I had a chance to go back and do it again, I would have stayed in career and I would have been retired
Yeah.
8 years ago.
You know, Rick is 4 years away from retirement.
Wow.
And I mean, he's so ready.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, my whole life's going to change.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to travel. He wants to buy like a Winnebago. And he has some disabilities from serving overseas. And I'm sure he doesn't care that I talk about it. But he didn't know that he could apply for like disability.
Right.
And just recently he did and was approved.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, he's a completely different human being now because he was just always stressed about money, stressed about those things.
Yeah.
And he was like, I feel like I won the lottery.
Wow.
I feel like I won a monthly lottery. I won the lottery and I'm taking it monthly payments.
Nice.
Because he's like just getting enough money. Now he pays his bill and he's getting a check that he can enjoy his life, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing extra. It's not a crap ton of money,
Right.
but it's enough that he doesn't.
Just like a living wage.
Well, yeah,
almost.
he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can go to the casino.
I mean,
he
they
can
took
go
care
on
of the military
vacation.
guy. The government can take care of that guy.
Yeah. 1.3.
1.3, baby.
1.3, baby.
What's that? What's 1.3?
That's our crappy raise.
Oh, 1.3%.
Yeah, 3.9% over 3 years. For every dollar we make, we're getting 4 cents.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
but vote no.
Vote no. If anybody in the NALC is listening, vote no.
Oh, yeah. Vote
So,
no.
yeah. Thank you for your service,
Yeah.
Lee.
Word.
Yay.
The most appropriate response I've ever heard from Lee.
Yo.
Again, I worked in passenger service and air cargo. It was an easy job. It was fun. I worked with great people that would bust their ass right alongside me. I met some really amazing people that have gone on to do mind-blowing things.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was lucky enough to work alongside these people, and I hold it real close.
That's great.
Awesome, man.
Was your dad military?
No.
So my dad was Vietnam, and then all of his brothers in the military.
Yeah.
They are either retired and all their kids are in. Like my cousin's husband, he's a Top Gun,
Oh, cool.
which is crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean he's a great guy. The amount of money this guy makes is insane. Yeah.
My-
He owns a vineyard, but he's a Top Gun. Like
That's awesome, though. Yeah.
not very many people can say that. So
My grandpa did Korean War, and then we had some family that died in the concentration camp in World War II.
Ooh.
So,
wow,
Yeah, they
Wow.
fell from the guard tower, so
damn,
long fall.
that's a long fall.
That's dark.
My mom hates that joke.
Dark.
Absolutely hates that
Too bad,
joke.
Calvin.
Sorry. Apologies. Too soon. Too soon. Well, let's talk a little bit about the
My
movie.
mom hates that joke.
And just to be clear,
Oh, here we go.
I didn't have anybody.
Disclaimer.
Well, I'm sure we did have
In the German
family in the German
Army.
SS or any such thing.
Well, that's good, buddy.
So yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the movie before we get into spoilers. Oh God.
My grandpa killed 8 soldiers and then spent the rest of the time in an Allied prison camp. It's Dwight Schrute, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
So A Few Good Men has a runtime of 138 minutes.
it's long.
It is long.
It premiered December 9th of 1992, and it had a wide release date of December 11th of 1992. Had a budget of between 33 and 40 million dollars, and it grossed 243.2 million dollars.
Didn't they win
Damn.
some awards off this thing?
I think it was nominated for Best Picture.
Didn't Jack Nicholson win for this?
I don't know. Let's see.
Top box office figures for 92.
Nominated.
I'm going to say A Few Good Men.
Nominated for
number
best,
one?
Yeah.
Nominated for Best Picture. Nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Jack Nicholson. Best Film Editing. Best Sound Mixing. Didn't win any.
Anything. Yeah. Isn't that
that's
crazy?
terrible.
Number 1 for 92, Aladdin.
Oh, wow.
Number 2, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. 3, A Few Good Men. 4, The Bodyguard. 5, The Distinguished Men.
Oh, my God.
6,
Bodyguard did come out in 1992 because that was the movie I took my future wife on our blind date.
Yeah.
Scarring.
there you go.
Did you put your coat over her shoulders?
No,
Oh.
it was a terrible date. I was an asshole.
Nice.
Imagine.
I know.
Shocker. Shocker. Number 6, Forever Young. 7, The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, that's a great one.
8 is Malcolm X. 9, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Damn.
And
Never watched it.
That's good.
except for Keanu. Keanu did an all right
Watch
job.
it.
He's Keanu.
Yeah.
He's not anything else.
And 10 toys.
Whoa, you're a vampire.
And And what'd you say, toys?
I'm thinking he's the
Robin Williams
undead.
toys?
Toys.
It
It
has
was
such a
really weird.
Crazy
I
soundtrack.
went to the movies with Jay to see
Yeah,
that.
it's so weird.
It's got
It's very-
Robin Williams, Joan Cusack's in it.
Yeah, it's very Tim Burton
Yes.
esque.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
weird
I like
as
it though.
shit.
Who's his brother?
It was his brother or his sister?
No, his brother is.
Oh, it's
can-
LL Cool J.
Yeah, that can blend into any environment.
Yes.
and it's his brother. I
Yeah.
love it so much.
LL Cool J.
Facts about the movie before we get into spoilers.
Which movie again?
A
I
Few
know
Good Men.
we've squirreled a few times.
I want to
Yeah.
do toys instead.
Right.
I agree. I agree.
It's far more interesting.
Toys is a movie from 1992.
Can you guess where it was in the box office?
Right.
10.
10.
10, baby.
An unnamed executive gave Aaron Sorkin a note that if Tom Cruise and Demi Moore's characters aren't going to sleep with each other, then why is Demi Moore's character a woman? And he responded, I said the obvious answer, women have purposes other than to sleep with Tom Cruise. And he claimed that the incident was his worst experience as a screenwriter. And being of note, writer Aaron Sorkin got the story idea from his sister, who in real life experienced a very similar incident. A lieutenant commander was perspective as a female JAG attorney. And it was inspired by an actual code red in Guantanamo Bay. This Lance Corporal and 9 other enlisted men tied up a fellow Marine, beat him for snitching to the Naval Criminal Investigative Service.
NCIS.
Jack.
This person was acquitted and later honorably discharged. And in 1994, David Cox mysteriously vanished and his bullet-ridden body was found 3 months later. And his murderer remains an unsolved mystery.
Wow.
So why couldn't you name?
It brought up somebody else's name other than Lance Corporal Cox, which I'm guessing is the person that,
One of the 9.
assisted with the case.
Oh, you don't want to disappear? Is that why? I
This
don't think
was
that they're going
92.
to listen to our
You
podcast.
want the credit?
No. What credit? What credit are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't even know. What are you talking about?
This is fine.
This is fine.
Everything's going to be fine.
So, anything of note before we get into spoilers?
Nope.
No.
Acting was fantastic. I'm
Right.
just going to say that.
Yeah,
Nicholson-
it's top notch.
It's Jack Nicholson.
Well, it's
It's
Top Gun. It's
finest.
a different movie, but
Yeah, I mean he's perfect in it.
same with Tom Cruise, Demi Moore. I felt like they all
Yeah,
did great
they
job.
did great.
Kevin Pollak.
I
thought
think
was
that Demi
fantastic.
Moore did better than Tom Cruise.
No, Demi.
Yeah.
No, Demi. No, Demi.
Demi, no, Demi.
No, please.
I love Kevin Pollak.
Yes.
Yeah, I just-
Kevin Pollak's one of the most underrated actors.
I agree.
sure.
He's phenomenal.
He plays the straight perfectly.
Yeah.
He's been in our last couple reviews.
I mean, and
Awesome.
Kiefer Sutherland. I love Kiefer Sutherland.
great.
I've seen him in concert
Really.
at Knuckleheads in Kansas City. He was really good, but he's exactly what you think he's going to be on stage. No, theatrical, moving and swaying, and he's an
Thinks
actor.
he's Axl Rose.
But the thing is that you really could just wait in line and meet him and say hi. But all of his merchandise, you could buy his shirts, his albums, his CDs, signed or not signed for the exact same price. And I'm like, that's cool. And like his CDs were like $10. He was in it for the passion, not for the money. Anyways, Kevin Pollak is awesome.
He is. He's just great.
What?
He was in Grumpy Old Men.
Yeah.
He was in Grumpy Old Men. Yeah, he was the younger son.
He was in
A Few Good
Willow.
Men.
Yeah.
Grumpy Old Men, A Few Good Men. See?
This
He was
is a
in Willow. He was in Indian Summer. He's in Wayne's World 2. He was in Grumpy Old Men. He was in The Usual Suspect. He was in Casino.
Was in Casino.
House Arrest.
Casino was great.
He was
Anyway.
in The Santa Claus 3.
Oh, man.
Anyway, great job.
We're in the middle of a conversation.
Right.
here.
So,
Talk
would
about
you
Kevin
guys
Pollak,
recommend
Son
people
of a
watch?
Bitch.
I think anyone over 18 that likes a courtroom drama.
It's a courtroom drama.
For sure.
There's
military
there's
elements.
no action in this movie.
No.
I mean, it's like a
If you want to
It's a
call
procedural.
Tom Cruise hitting softballs action,
Yeah.
then it has action.
if you want to watch someone rolling down a hill, that's action.
That's right.
When you see someone get a sock in their mouth.
Yeah, but I'm a big sucker for courtroom dramas, movies.
sure.
TV
Yeah.
shows, not so much, but I love a good courtroom drama.
Watching this movie made me realize why people watch NCIS and why that show's still going on. To this
I'm gonna
day.
say every episode I've watched, I've been like, it's good,
Yeah.
But I'm like, how do they
Never
keep
watched
coming up
one
with stuff
episode.
after 20 years?
Yeah.
Never watched one episode of any of those shows.
They're good,
And I'm never gonna.
and that's fine.
But those are the kind of shows where it's like, oh, did you watch season 2 of... There's the voice again. NCIS? And I'm like,
No.
no.
Hey, listen, do the voice.
Do
We
the
like
voice.
the voice.
I love the voice, so don't hesitate to do the
Come on,
voice.
do the goddamn voice.
I'm
Maybe
sorry,
the
I
voice.
did the voice. Son of a gun. I was thinking I came up
Confound it. Because he refuses
coming up
to cuss.
with elaborate
Like
voices,
the
and
old
then I realized.
prospector.
Well, howdy, partner. It's
Goodness.
Southern, not old prospector.
So, would you guys recommend people watch
I
a
said
few good movies?
18 and
A
up.
few good men.
If you
Yeah.
like-
If you like courtroom dramas,
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah, I was the one saying I understand now why people watch NCIS
Yeah.
because of this
Yeah,
movie. So
you took us off on that.
you're
tangent.
welcome. You're welcome. Spoilers on your count, Lee.
Oh, we're already on spoilers?
You can't handle the spoilers.
No.
Oh,
See what
he
you
did the
there.
thing.
You did the
He
thing.
did the thing.
Didn't even see it coming, did you?
Not once.
Oh, get after it.
But
first.
Trivia.
Hey.
Oh, look at it all. It's all coming together.
Right?
Beyonce
Number
is
one.
awesome.
It's like we're
Yeah.
getting good at this.
Whoa.
really getting our feel.
Whoa. Getting
40
right on in
movies
there.
in and we're
Right.
really getting it.
Eventually, I'm going to get a new chair, and I can't wait.
Get out of these lawn chairs.
Right?
I almost brought one with me today.
Did you?
Yep.
Question 1. How much time does Kaffee initially think he can get his clients?
12 years.
That's correct. Number 2. What are the boys' life code?
It's
Unit, core,
God,
country.
That's correct. Question 3. What does Joanne bring to Kaffee's for trial prep?
Chinese food
Chinese food and
and
bunch of
notepads
and pens.
pens.
And medical records as well.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but we'll give it to you.
Okay.
Question
Most
4.
importantly, the Chinese food.
Also, I watched this movie while driving my children around trick or treating. So I have the best job of I start at the beginning of the block and I drop them off and I drive all the way to the end of the block and just wait.
Good job.
And
you go.
I watched an hour and a half of this movie doing that.
Oh my gosh.
It was awesome.
I've seen this movie multiple times, but I watched this movie on my phone while I was working. I'm not going to say which jobs. Anyway.
Fair enough.
Oh, by the way, we all had to purchase this movie
Yes.
because
On
you can't
Vudu.
stream it
yeah.
anywhere.
And it was also this one was
I had to buy this $15.
yeah, it was $15.
$12.99.
Oh, there you go.
I'm an idiot, and I'm always like, it's only $4 more for 4K,
Yeah, right.
Even though I'm never gonna watch it in
again.
4K.
I'm never going
300
to watch it
movies.
again.
Oh, I'd watch this movie again.
Yeah.
I was telling Jalissa about it, and she wants to watch it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Question 4. What chemical reaction caused Santiago to die?
Oh man.
Lactic acidosis.
There. Wow.
There you go.
Lee.
Dang.
Big
you know
brain
when
over here.
Sheesh.
when I put this one down, I thought back to the last time when you guys had Rick and like, it's just easy questions, guys. Don't worry.
Lactic acidosis.
There you go. Question
Brought on by
5.
a heart condition.
What were Dawson and Downey charged guilty of?
Conduct unbecoming of a Marine.
Yeah.
So
Which
both-
is true.
They were charged that, and they were found guilty on that alone.
Yeah.
They were charged also with
Murder.
murder and conspiracy to commit murder.
Yeah.
So both Marines were found guilty of conduct unbecoming a United States
Which
Marine
is shitty.
and was ordered by Judge Randolph to be dishonorably discharged.
So,
However,
but what would have happened to them if they would have told Jack Nicholson no? You know what I mean? Like, what would have
Right.
happened? Nothing
Well,
good.
They never would have told Jack Nicholson no because they never met with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
But
Just
if they
Kiefer
would have told
Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland no,
Right.
it probably just would have moved on to the next person.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, no such crime exists for enlisted personnel. Article 133 of U
Conduct unbecoming an officer.
is a crime. But 2 accused Marines were enlisted rather than officers and couldn't have been convicted of under Article 133.
Yeah. Only military people are going to know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just theatrical.
Yep.
So Aaron Sorkin has long acknowledged this, but did not feel it necessary to correct the story as it takes place in a fictional universe. So there you go.
Right.
Easy fix, baby.
Yeah.
Fictional universe.
Here's the fun question.
It actually takes place in the MCU.
Bonus question.
Bonus question.
Okay.
I think this is going to be fun.
All right.
The United States has 8 uniformed service branches. Name as many as possible.
Uniformed service branches.
Uniformed service branches.
Okay. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, Postal Service. I'm counting it. Wear a uniform. Work for the government. Let's
It's not one of the
see.
8.
I
I'm just
know.
saying.
So there's 5. Merchant Marine?
Nope.
Seals?
No, that's part of the Navy.
Navy. As of this recording, the Marines are still
Under the Navy.
under the Navy. We are counting them as one of the 8.
Yeah.
So you said Army,
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard,
okay?
And it's federal?
Says 8 uniformed service branches.
National Guard?
Nope.
Dude, I don't know what
Would
the
it be?
other three
Would
are.
it be like forest? Anything like?
Forest Service?
No.
All right, what is it?
Space Force.
Bullshit,
It
mama.
is. And then USPHS Commissions Corps,
What's that?
which is also the Commission Corps of the United States Public Health Service.
Public Health. They have a uniform?
Apparently so.
So would that be like Center of Disease Control stuff?
Division Corps and Readiness. Protect, promoting, and advancing the health and safety of the nation is the office salute.
That's what I want to join.
Yeah. And then
Nerds.
And then the last one is NOAA Commission Officer Corps. Which
What's
is
that?
NOAA.
This is
That's
made
the
up.
North.
North Oceanic
Atmospheric-
Atmospheric
Is
Administration
that like
Commission Officer.
Antarctica? crap?
No, it's just shit out in the ocean, man.
That's all made up.
You ever seen?
That's part of the Navy.
You ever seen Battleship?
Yeah.
Okay, so the buoys.
Yeah.
Those are NOAA.
Got it.
And they're also weather,
Yeah,
too. So,
weather.
like, at the beginning of Twister, they show one of the NOAA branches where they've got the big screen and they're like, there's an F5 tornado headed to...
Okay.
I thought that was National
But
Weather
that's not.
Service.
But that's not uniform, is it?
That's what it says.
That's what it says.
The internet never lies.
Bullshit.
So
This
let's get into
podcast
our...
is bullshit.
Let's get into our not so long form
We should
discussion.
rename our podcast to "This Podcast
This
is Bullshit."
for sure.
We'd have to branch out into other topics though, besides movies.
Let's do it.
All right.
Like anime.
Or
Video
politics.
games,
Dude, I could go all day about video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All day, every day.
like top 10 classic NES games.
Man,
Then we're like encroaching on like Watch Mojo lists and stuff like that. Ruffle
We can have our own
I
opinion.
don't even know what
and
Watch
record it.
Mojo is.
What?
You don't
I
know
don't know what
Watch
that is.
Mode?
Dude, that was like the OG of OG list.
Dude, I'm old.
What's her name? She's like, thanks for listening to Watch Mojo. She has like the perfect.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it YouTube?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
I don't watch YouTube videos.
Really?
Well, we're on YouTube, so.
Well, I listen through Spotify.
Whoa. There you go.
Continue.
Anyway.
This podcast is going to be like 8 hours long.
I know.
It's gonna be great. We're gonna start the long form discussion.
And
Yeah.
This movie starts off with Santiago
Mm-hmm.
and he's writing a letter and it's his voice saying, I need to get out of here. I'm getting treated like crap. This is down in Guantanamo Bay. And apparently this is also, they are right 300 yards away from Cuba.
Right.
Hostile territory on
dangerous.
top of everything else.
Yeah, here in about 10 years, Gitmo's gonna be a little more crowded.
And this movie starts off pretty quick paced. Like
Yeah.
you're like, whoa, you
This
know.
is going on, and you get two guys going in and where they shove the sock into his mouth, and then
God, I can't breathe out of my nose. But if anyone would ever do that to me, I would go into like panic attack mode
Yeah.
and probably die anyways
Yeah.
because I wouldn't be able to breathe.
right.
Yeah. I'm the same way. With my asthma and my allergies, as bad as they've gotten in the past, there's times where there's no breathing through my nose ever. And
God, it's
yeah,
so terrible.
it would be a quick death.
Oh my God.
Starts bleeding and coughing up blood, and they're like, "Oh crap!"
Take the
and
rag out.
Keels over and dies.
Damn it.
We get introduced to Demi Moore's character. She's taking this case very seriously.
Can I pause just for a second?
Sure.
What is your Wi-Fi?
Are you in?
You're not done.
I'm in, baby.
It's done. It's over.
I'm in, man.
I erased One Piece off the internet through Calvin.
She's taking this case and she's going to her superior officers.
And
and
she's
it
the
was-
classic woman, not belonging.
Bucking the trend.
Yeah.
She sits down with her superior officer and she's like, "Hey, do you mind, Demi? You mind going and get some coffee?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm not thirsty, sir." He's like, "Can you leave the room so we can talk about you behind your back?"
I do like that. I was like, awesome. That's awesome.
Just step out and get some
terrible.
coffee. I don't want to. Well, you're gonna.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Basically, the case gets reassigned to this hotshot JAG officer.
And really, Tom Cruise is not likable.
Not at all.
Oh, he's a jerk in this movie.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He's a turd.
He's the smartest guy in the freaking room, and he knows it.
He's a turd.
Yeah.
Well,
He's a turd that doesn't think about anyone but himself.
Especially at the beginning of the movie.
That's what I'm saying. I would say 60% of the movie.
Yeah.
He has his aha, I figured it out moment.
He is a military officer.
Not
That's
really.
all I'm gonna say. Yes, he is.
He is, but he went to Harvard and
Doesn't matter.
I know, but he ever serve overseas or do anything like
They're
that?
the worst. That's the problem. Is when you get these fresh out of college guys.
Yeah,
that
that's
get
what I'm saying.
commissioned as a butter bar who know nothing.
Yeah.
that's what they are.
Yeah.
they know. Jack
That's what I
shit,
thought you were
but they're
saying. The
smart.
opposite. They're smart. Oh, he's smart.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
very
not
smart.
Smartest
saying.
guy in the
I'm
room,
saying he's
and
a
he knows
jackass.
Yeah, he's the smartest guy in the room and he knows it.
Yeah.
And he acts that way.
That was me working for neurosurgeons. Like, that is exactly how I got treated all the time.
Yeah.
But bartender David came out way too often. It didn't work for him.
Yeah.
I remember telling one guy, I said, go in your office and think about it. And get in there. And he turned around and walked away from me because I was about a foot taller than he was. Jackasses.
Rethink your life.
She goes out and she's looking for Tom Cruise and out on a ball field.
Yeah, he's playing softball.
Playing softball.
While his clients have been in holding cells
Well,
since
Kevin,
this morning.
There's also a scene too where Kevin Pollak comes out and he's like, "Hey, aren't you supposed to be in the office?" It's like, "Well, I'll be in my office with my clients." Da, da, da. All right, point taken. And Tom Cruise goes in and then he's meeting his superior officer, and the superior officer's like, "Well, I'm going to ask why you're late, but I know it's going to be some bullshit."
Yeah, I'm not going to ask an excuse because I know you don't have one.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see you make one up.
And
Thank
he
you,
said,
sir.
fair enough. Thank you.
You know what I loved most about it? His uniform was just stained.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I was like, dude, you
Yeah,
don't even have
he
a
doesn't. That's the
clean
thing is that
uniform.
that's what I'm saying. He does not care.
No.
He's there for the cush. Knows that he can make deals,
Yeah, and he's going to get out.
and he's going to get out.
and go be a real lawyer somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, he's kind of not necessarily riding on the coattails, but his
Was
father was
a famous.
Right. But he does ride on coattails.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Pollak's character is a better researcher, knows how to get to the witnesses, that kind of stuff. And he uses the people around him, which is very smart. And
Right.
that's how people succeed in business.
Yeah.
Right.
You surround yourself with the people that are good at what you're not good at.
Exactly.
Right. Everyone is aware that he's doing that.
Right.
So, but everyone feels like there's something wrong with this case. There's something missing.
It doesn't sit right.
It doesn't sit right with anyone except Tom Cruise. At first, I'll just,
It's open and shut.
I'm going to
just
get it. I'm going to get him this.
and that's it.
They would be dumb. It's either life in prison for murder or you spend 12 years and be done with it and get out in what, 6?
I'm not going to dishonor myself that way.
Right.
Yeah. All right. And Demi Moore is assigned to the case as well.
To make sure that good old Kaffee does his job.
Yes.
So they go and they interview the guys, and they are very, yes, sir.
They
please.
are Marine.
He's
Drop
like,
it.
please stop, and they don't.
No.
They can't.
And they are literally not giving any information. They are only answering questions that are directly asked.
Yep.
They're not giving any other, not at ease.
Not expanding on
They
any
are-
information.
They're saying, this is what happened if it's asked.
Yeah.
You know? And so he was like, okay. They end up going down to Guantanamo Bay. He's going to interview a few people.
Yeah.
And then it's the second commanding officer. It's right under Jack Nicholson, right?
Markham.
Markham.
Lieutenant Commander.
Yeah, but he is gone. He's AWOL, right?
Yeah, right.
He's former intelligence. So if he wants to disappear, gone.
Yeah.
could be Markham.
You could be Markham. Are you Markham?
I'm not Markham.
I'm not Markham.
There's 2 down.
Yeah, I love that. That's a cool scene. But
8
I love
billion more to go.
I love
Yeah.
the fact that he goes AWOL and everyone's like, "Pfft, good luck.
All right.
You're never gonna find him.
We did get a scene earlier too where Jack Nicholson's character
He's talking to Kiefer Sutherland's
Yeah.
character
And Markham.
and Markham. And Markham, you see it. He's like,
it's like this
need
isn't
to
right.
this
transfer
shit
him after.
is not right.
We need to transfer him out of here immediately. And
Because he's yelling. Jack Nicholson is saying something to Kiefer Sutherland's character, and Markham is just glancing over at him, and you catch that. Like, you're like, he doesn't like what's happening
Right.
at all.
he knows what's coming.
Yeah.
He
And
knows that the code red is coming.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson doesn't. I don't think he specifies like it says code red, but
He
he
doesn't
says
say code red. He wants them trained.
he said you're gonna train him, and if it's not, I'm gonna kill you.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what he
Yeah.
told him.
He said I'm gonna kill you if you don't get this guy in line. Kiefer Sutherland's got it.
Well, that's his second in command to him because it's him and the Lord our God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
So they go down. Markham's gone, right? They're dressed in their
Just on the
whites.
dress whites. Yeah.
Right? And they're like, you got to put some camo on
Or you're going to get shot.
because they're going to see glistening white and be like, woo, we can.
Greasing off.
Let's get you covered up.
Good
they
call
go,
with the whites.
Yeah. They eat lunch with Jack Nicholson. At first, I think that him and Tom Cruise are.
Kind of meshing off each other.
Yeah,
a
they're
little bit.
meshing. Tom Cruise is like, got it, totally understand.
Everything's good.
And Demi Moore is like, I have some questions.
No, you
And she-
don't.
No, you don't.
don't.
She's like,
Let's
I have
go.
some questions.
No, you don't. And then she starts asking questions.
But she pulls.
The code red out like
Boom.
immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
You know who you're talking to?
Yeah.
Right.
So tensions flare a little bit without them flaring, right? They're good at what they say is daggers.
Right.
So they get up to leave, and he says, oh, by the way, I'm going to need to see his transfer papers. He says, absolutely, we'll get those for you. Ask me nicely.
He goes on a little bit of a spiel.
Listen,
and
that
he
monologue
tells him,
is great.
He tells him, you're going to stand there in your effity white uniform,
white.
and you're going to ask me nicely.
Yeah.
It was rather intimidating.
Very much so.
rather intimidating.
And you know what? Tom Cruise, he bit his tongue
Yep,
because you
and he
know
asked
he
nicely.
hated being
Oh,
talked
yeah.
to like
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
And he asked nicely, and they leave. You know
But
that.
first, before they eat lunch and all that stuff,
Oh,
they
I missed
do
something. I'm
check
sorry.
Santiago's room. So
And everything's perfect.
But he opens up the closet and all the uniforms are in there, and he's checking everything, and everything kind of looks normal except for like the blood stains got on the bed. And they're like,
Right.
hey, nobody's came in this room since the accident, right? No, it's been completely shut up. Then we get the dinner scene,
Right.
Right.
the lunch scene, and he even says, son, I eat breakfast 300 yards away from in there trying to kill me, so you don't scare me nothing. You know, Jack Nicholson.
Probably should.
Yeah.
Right.
Hubris.
You know, I'll tell you one thing. When I was in the military, that was one universal fear among officers and enlisted was you do not want to come in contact with the JAG office.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Right.
You want to stay off that radar as much as you possibly can because they do not mess around. They don't cut deals. It's
Straight up.
straight up.
Leavenworth.
Yeah.
There you go. We go back and they're kind of formulating a case.
Well, they are,
Jack-
but he goes to Kevin Bacon,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Give me
12
this."
years.
He goes, "You know that something's wrong here,
Yeah.
so give me this." You
And
know?
he does. He
Yeah.
rolls over
He says,
immediately.
"Yeah." He doesn't even invite him. He's like, "Okay, we'll do it."
So they go back to two
To
enlisted
Dawson,
officers.
yeah, and Downing, and they say,
Nope.
Not doing
"No
it.
way."
Losing my honor. Absolutely.
And
I
really,
did
it
what
was
I supposed
Dawson that was like, "No." Downing was doing whatever. He was
Whatever
just
Dawson did.
Well, and he wasn't being told. He was just he looked up to him so much that he was going to do.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You can tell that Dawson was the brains.
Well, Dawson was the squad leader.
Yeah, but like he respected him.
Right.
And I'm going to do whatever
Tom
he
Cruise
does.
even says that he pulls him off to the side and says, "Hey, he's going to do whatever you do, so you make
It's going to
need
be
make
on you. If you say not guilty and you spend the rest of your life in prison, his life is in your hands.
literally in your hands."
Life is in your hands, dude.
Yeah, right
He's like,
there.
So, yeah, he's a Marine. He knew the cost.
And they're
knows
like,
the code.
no.
Tom Cruise is pissed.
He
and,
loses his shit.
yeah, and he says, "I'm going to drop counsel."
Yeah, as soon as we make our plea.
He was like, yeah, I'm going to ask. I want off the case. They knew someone else. And Demi
Tells Harold
Moore
to F
is
off.
like, you are a puss.
Yeah.
There you are, intelligent, blah, blah, blah. You know something's wrong.
Stand
and
make an argument.
And you are not going to fight because you want the easy case and you want to be
With
the...
that set of steak knives.
Yeah. She basically says, I'm just disappointed in
Yeah.
you. We get the montage of him in different locations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes to the bar
Thinking
with all
and,
the
and
all the
listening to the other
power
JAG.
lawyers.
Yeah, and he's listening, and then he's sitting, somewhere else. And he walks in literally 1 second before the judge walks in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like slouches in his chair, and they go and they say, "Are you going to plead?" And he says, "Not guilty." And Demi Moore says,
Demi. Demi, don't look at me.
Oh
Don't
my
look at me,
goodness.
Demi.
They kind of wait around for him. Tom Cruise recused himself of the case, and he never does it.
"No."
And
He says,
I say not guilty.
he looks at him and says, "All right, well, you guys want anything to eat?
All I got is
Yoo-hoo and Cocoa Puffs.
Cocoa Puffs
I
and
got
Yoo-hoo.
Yoo-hoo and Cocoa
better
Puffs.
bring it with you.
"Yeah."
Yeah.
But then he gets approached by
It's Kevin
Bacon.
He's like, "Hey, what the shit? I thought you guys were cutting a deal," and said, "We're gonna stand up. We're gonna do what's right." And he kind of gets a kick with Kevin Pollak and Demi Moore, and we're pulling an all-nighter. We're gonna freaking do this. So we get a montage of them in Tom Cruise's apartment, and they're going through bit by bit. He says, "Kevin Pollak, you're great at prepping somebody for a cross-examination and research and stuff like that." And they're practicing, and they're really fun scenes.
Well, through
because-
that, they discover like Dawson, a good dude. He
Yeah.
was denied a promotion because he was smuggling food to another soldier that had been code red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut him off, and he was smuggling food, and he got in trouble.
Yeah.
So they instantly are like, "This is not a bad dude. This is not
Right.
what is really happening here."
I mean, he corners somebody on the stand later on. It was Kendrick.
Yeah.
Like Kiefer Sutherland, and tells him like, so he can't make his own decision, right? He's like, no, he can't make his own decision.
Oh,
He does
I
what
love
I
that.
tell him to do.
Yeah.
So he can't distinguish between a good order and a bad order. No, he can't. He does what I tell him to do, and basically outs himself as this is what happened.
Yeah.
It was all very smart. Of course, it's all written that way, but the way it played out.
But he went into it with that plan. Yeah.
Brilliantly leading this guy down the road. Of course, that was was further down on in the case, but because
Right.
they kind of get their butts handed to them when they bring in the expert
Yeah.
and his testimony. And
The doctor, he's so like stone faced.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I'm wrong.
No.
I am not wrong.
I gave him a full workup.
Yeah.
And
So you're saying that's not even a possibility? And he's
Demi
like,
Moore's
nope.
like trying to fight that he's not an expert and she wants it thrown out. I object. No, I strongly
I need to reevaluate.
real value. And,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about this in chambers. And I was like, good, you're just solidifying his
Argument.
as he is an expert. Way to go.
Yeah. And we get kind of ups and downs throughout the
But
case, too.
this is when he meets Markinson.
Yeah, after this.
After this is when he meets her. He
Markinson-
goes to the newsstand with black guy that they're always
Yeah.
going back with their
Yeah.
sayings back and forth, and he gets back in his car, and Markinson's in the back seat and scares the crap out of him.
Right.
And he,
And
tells
he
him,
says the transfer order was never.
oh, yeah, I signed that the morning you got to the base.
Right.
And it wasn't real. And there was a flight that left 7 hours before that. And of course, it's disappeared because
No flight logs anywhere.
no flight logs on the inbound
and,
or outbound.
And they really do never find it.
No, they
But-
never do.
But they pretend.
That's
yeah.
right.
And he's wanting to bring Markinson to the stand,
Yep.
and Markinson's like,
I
can't
can't.
do it. Later on, his character.
Right.
He unalives himself.
The day
and-
before he's
yeah.
going
Bye.
to testify.
Yeah, and he writes a letter saying, I'm sorry that I failed.
Your son's dead because I wasn't strong enough to protect him.
But also, couldn't you put that in? Isn't that new evidence?
I don't think he got specific enough.
He wrote it to his mom, though. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think he got
I would
specific
think
enough.
that would. But after that, Kaffee is like, we're done.
Yeah.
Like,
screwed.
Well, the only thing you can do is go after Jessup going after him.
The Hail Mary.
You know what happens when I accuse this guy with no proof? I get disbarred. I lose my license. I get court-martialed. No,
but-
thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
But it's their Hail Mary, and
It's the only thing they can do.
he goes
And
out.
he's
he
obviously
gets-
good at pushing buttons.
Yeah.
So
he goes out and he gets like super drunk.
Yeah.
He gets another reality check with Demi, and he's like, "Hey, you need to do what's right here." And he's like, "Well, would you put him on the stand? No.
No.
Would your dad put him on the stand?
Not in a
No.
million years.
Not in a million years."
But Kevin Pollak's like, but if I have to choose between your dad and you and any other lawyer on the planet, and you every day and twice on Sunday.
yeah,
And-
I'd pick him too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Smart guy.
Also, they realized too the clothes that Santiago, if he was supposed to leave in the morning,
Didn't do any packing.
he didn't
wow,
do any
yeah,
packing.
amazing how that
Never
didn't.
called anybody.
Yeah, never said I'm coming.
This is all led through Jessup because he's
Yeah.
like, when you left here this morning, did you get any phone calls? Because it says here that you got phone calls, and we're getting objection. What is this relevance?
You
And
made 3 calls. You packed a bag. Even you for one day trip. You made plans.
Yeah.
Santiago was leaving for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Wasn't coming back here. Was
Didn't pack a
sleeping
thing.
like a baby at midnight with all this shit unpacked and never called anybody.
See, that's stuff like a good lawyer would look at, and I would
Right.
never think about that.
Right.
Like,
Right.
that's so smart.
For
you know?
sure.
But again, it's all circumstantial
Yeah.
and not really.
But it makes you think.
it
It's
makes you
thought-provo-
think, but it's not
thought-provoking.
evidence.
Right.
No.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
No.
But it does make you.
and they do
He
bring
definitely
in.
would have called his mama.
They bring in 2
The guy
air
wrote
traffic.
no, they brought in 2 airmen that work on the flight
Oh,
line.
yeah.
Which is
okay.
what I did.
Yeah,
Nice.
so they brought him in, sat him down,
Yeah.
and everyone kind of sees that they're back there. Right.
So does Jessup. You can see a little bit of an unease, like a tiny bit of
What are
unease.
these guys doing here?
Yeah.
Air Force boys.
they called Jessup
They
to the
called
stand.
Jessup to the stand. We go through that whole monologue with, "Oh, that's kind of weird that
Yeah.
he didn't make any phone calls, he didn't make any plans, so on and so forth." And
Maybe he was an early riser. Maybe he didn't have a lot of friends.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise kind of looks around and is like, "Well, this is the moment of truth. I have nowhere else to go. This is it." And he looks over at Kelvin Pollak's like, Don't do it. Don't do it." And
And then Jessup goes to get up and he goes, "Sit down. I'm not done with you." And he's like, "What?" He goes, "I told you, I'm not done with you. Sit down." He continues his
well,
question.
first off, he says,
He says something about asking nicely.
I've been serviceman for 30 years. I feel like a sir
Yeah.
is required." And
Colonel.
he goes, "Put some respect on that name." And he sits down and he looks over at the judge and
He goes, "What kind of unit are you running here?" He
Yeah.
goes, "I know it's either your honor or judge, and I know I've earned it."
yeah.
yeah.
He's like, "Oh,
Oh shit.
my bad."
Yeah. You can tell too that kind of set him off, and
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is starting to play him like a
Yeah, it's starting to
did.
boil.
I forget how the line of questioning goes, but he backs him into the corner and just really lets him have it. Provokes the outburst and the speech.
You want the truth?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. It was great.
Yeah.
Just
It's classic. I mean,
he nailed that line. He nailed that speech, that monologue. Just absolutely killed
I mean,
it.
he's spitting. He's so mad. You know,
Yeah.
like you see the.
They push in so close on that camera, you can't even see his whole head.
I wonder how many takes that took.
It took 6 to 9.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So it says here, Jack Nicholson repeated his famous courtroom monologue as Colonel Jessup off camera several times, so Rob Reiner could film the reactions of other actors and actresses from various angles. Nicholson's memorable on-camera performance Lee's face looking at me right now.
Please
is like,
don't edit
I'm
that
gonna
out.
Kill you.
I know when
sir.
you edit stuff out because I can hear it, and I'm like, he didn't say it like that.
Do it like that. Nicholson's memorable on-camera performance was filmed last, but according to Reiner, the other cast members, Nicholson gave it his all every single take he was on camera. Nicholson said he was quite spent by the time he was finished. In an interview with Kiefer Sutherland, was quoted saying, "I don't think any of us realized how hard Jack Nicholson worked to be Jack Nicholson in that moment." So, and also I have in here that the night before, Cruise is kind of mocking Colonel Jessup.
He does a pretty good Nicholson impression.
Tom Cruise's impersonation
I eat
was
breakfast
not
300 yards from people trying to kill me.
it was not scripted, and Demi Moore and Kevin Pollak's reactions were genuine in that scene.
Oh, I bet they freaking were.
I bet Jack Nicholson.
So he basically,
loved it.
he tells on himself. It's a silent gasp.
Yes,
you don't
I
hear
gave
it.
the code red.
You're goddamn right I did.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh man.
And
I love the look on Tom Cruise, Kaffee's face. He's like, what do we do now?
yeah,
He's like, he said it.
And the judge
so
says,
what do we
arrest
do?
the colonel, please.
He goes,
Yeah.
I think we need to stop because the witness has rights.
Yeah.
and Nicholson gets up. He's gonna walk right out those.
I'm going
freaking doors.
back to Gitmo.
Yeah.
And you're not going anywhere. You're under arrest.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's like,
I'm being charged with a crime.
and he looks
I
at
loved
him,
it.
and he's like, "I'm gonna rip your fucking throat out."
I'm
like,
gonna
oh,
rip out your eyes and piss in the sockets.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. I'm like, oh shit.
He was great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
But man,
You fucked with the wrong Marine.
listen, character, not Tom Cruise, but the character. You know his butthole was puckered.
He will get those eyeballs.
yeah. Somehow.
I'm gonna get them eyeballs.
Yeah, somehow. So this is when they come back and they say,
Yeah, the jury finds
guilty,
Not
not
guilty
guilty.
On murder and not guilty on conspiracy to commit murder,
But-
guilty on conduct unbecoming
And dishonorable
discharge.
discharge.
Loudon doesn't understand what's going on. What happens now? What did we do wrong, Hal?
Yeah.
They
It
gave us an
sucks.
order.
And I agree. I mean, it's shitty.
And this is what, I mean, I don't know what the Marines are taught, but I know in the Air Force, we are taught that an illegal order is not a valid order, and you are not to follow illegal orders. It doesn't matter who gives an order. If it's illegal, it's not valid.
But you probably will be punished illegally.
yeah, probably. But that was the whole
But
thing.
they're not
is
going to
that-
court-martial you.
Right.
Or,
And so they're visibly upset because this was their entire life.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
they
And
were Marines.
They start walking off, and Tom Cruise's character says, you know, you don't have to be in uniform.
Yeah, you don't got to wear a patch to have honor.
They close out the room. The room's empty, and it's just Tom Cruise. And they said this earlier, but this is what a courtroom looks like. Every time they were saying, oh, yeah, you never know what the inside of a courtroom looks like because you always settle outside of court.
Yeah,
You
just
never...
plea everything out.
But yeah, that's a few good men, more or less. I
Yep.
mean, again, we're not going to hit every single thing. We're just
no,
gonna hit
I mean,
main
but it's
points.
a good movie. But we rank our movies on a S through F tier system.
Mm-hmm.
So S being the top of the top, there can only be 10 at a time in our list. We only have 3 after a year, and that's The Exorcist, Jaws, and The Way, Way Back. And then if it goes beyond that, then we'll have to knock one off. But then we have A, awesome, great, almost perfect movies. B, really good movies. C's, average, middle of the road. D's,
Not good.
maybe a redeeming quality, like fight scenes, that kind of stuff.
Right.
F, trash, which we only have 2 in.
Yep.
So that being said, Lee,
I give A Few Good Men an A-.
Okay.
The acting is unparalleled. It's great. You're not going to find anything wrong with the acting in this. The story is good. It's compelling. It's somewhat authentic as far as the military goes. It's 2 hours long, but it doesn't seem like 2 hours to me. Like
it was quick. It was
quick.
fast. Yeah.
It's paced well. You know, like Dave said, it's dialogue. And courtroom tension was really good.
Yeah.
Really good. I don't have any qualms with it. It's just, I don't think it's S quality, but Jack Nicholson makes it an A for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calvin?
I'm actually going to go higher. I'm going to say that this is an A+. And I'm putting it up there because as far as courtroom drama goes, I feel like this is up there with the best of the best. I feel like this is up there with your, To Kill a Mockingbirds or, 12 Angry Men, your...
The Client.
Freaking love
Client.
all those
Yeah,
movies.
and
Rainmaker. I love the Rainmaker.
Yeah.
I think
I was
that
gonna
is, that is
say-
my favorite courtroom drama. That and A Time to Kill.
Yeah, A Time to Kill
is
is
solid too.
Matthew McConaughey, man.
I'm
Come
gonna
on.
say
Donald
too.
Sutherland.
Yeah. Samuel Jackson.
I'm gonna say too.
So good.
My cousin Vinny.
Oh, it's
fucking
great.
Love,
That's a-
Utes.
Yeah.
That is
So-
it's great.
And again,
Funny, really good courtroom drama.
Right.
This is where I'm putting it up there with those because I do feel like it's one of the most quoted lines from any military movie. Period.
Movie period.
Movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this movie well deserves A+. I feel like acting, writing, everything. So
I agree with everything Calvin said. I will definitely watch this movie again.
Yes.
I was telling Jalissa about it, and I'm super excited to watch it again, maybe to catch just the dialogue in it is very technical at times. I'm not military, so I don't. It's always hard for me to know ranks. Does it make sense? You know what I mean? I'll have to look stuff up because I'm like, I don't know what that is compared to that. I just don't. That was a little hard for me, like just to know. Obviously, I know Colonel. But other than that, the acting is superb. The settings are superb. Everyone, the characters, they play him very well. Like Demi Moore, Kevin Pollak is great.
Speaking of ranks, I did misspeak, and Markinson wasn't a lieutenant commander; he was a lieutenant colonel. I was thinking Navy, which is a little different.
Yeah.
But he was right under
him. Yeah,
right
lieutenant
under
commander and
Jack
lieutenant colonel
Nicholson.
are the same rank. They're just called different things in different services.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I'm going to give it an A+. I don't think it's quite at an S tier. I didn't walk away being like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I walked away going, damn, that was a great movie.
That was solid.
That was it was a great payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You feel
With that little bit of letdown, great payoff.
because it was a
letdown.
realistic payoff. I don't necessarily think they could have.
No, they would have gone to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have gone to jail for murder.
Yeah.
Well, manslaughter.
Yeah.
Because their intention was never to kill him.
Right.
But they would have gone to jail.
Yeah. So I
They'd
mean,
have
with
spent
that
some
being
time
said,
in Leavenworth.
A minus
Well,
and 2 A+.
I said A. I thought I said straight A.
No, you said
You
A
said A
minus.
minus, so it's an A.
Yeah.
Do you want to give it an A?
I'll give it an A so we can
A plus
call
it?
it A plus it.
A plus.
I'm good for A+.
A plus.
Yeah, I think
Solid.
it deserves it.
I do too.
I mean, I think it's with all his nominations and Jack Nicholson and character development is superb in it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really curious who won Best Picture in '92
Let's
that
look.
would beat this out.
JFK won Best Film Editing,
That was a long ass
Best
movie.
Sound Mixing, Terminator 2, Best Original Score, Beauty and the Beast,
Oh, yeah.
Best Adapted Screenplay, Silence of the Lamb,
Oh,
Best Actor, Anthony Hopkins.
yeah.
Best Supporting
Yeah.
Actor is Jack Palance in City Slickers.
Slickers.
George Lucas won the Irving G. Memorial Award.
Wow.
Best Supporting was Mercedes Rail for The Fisher King. Best Actress was Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best song, Beauty and the Beast, Beauty and the Beast.
What
Best
won?
Cinematography, JFK.
What won Best Picture?
Silence of the Lambs.
Did it really?
Yep. Wow. Best Original Screenplay was Thelma and Louise. It was a hell of a year. The 90s,
is.
man. The 90s were freaking awesome.
Almost
Ass.
as good as the 80s.
Almost.
I would
Not-
agree with that. I would agree
Not
with that.
quite.
Not quite.
The 80s are
The 80s are just,
chef's kiss, baby.
you can't beat it.
No. So with that being said,
A plus.
A plus.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. Thank you for everybody that has served in
Yeah.
our military and our armed forces, not just in the United States, but everywhere, because I think it's an honor wherever you're at to
Stand up for-
the people
yeah.
that you're there to protect.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. Unless you're Nazis. So
Then I'm
that's
gonna punch
bad.
you in the
Screw
face.
you.
Yeah. That's getting cut. But again, thank you all.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
Veterans Day.
All right.
Check it
We'll
out.
see you
These
guys
few
later.
good men are saying, toodaloo. Bye.
Bye.
Oi, oi.
All right. See you guys later.
Hello and welcome to Postcast. Just a few corrections for this week. Yes, the CDC is part of the Public Health Service Commission's course. And also, yes, NOAA has many bases in Antarctica, most notably the Atmospheric Research Observatory, or the ARO. And finally, the Watch Mojo lady is Rebecca Brayton, who is still involved with the channel as of the release of this episode. I also wanted to say thank you to all our loyal and new listeners. Shout out to our new listeners and subscribers. Thanks for helping us and supporting us on this journey. We invite you all to check out our Facebook group or check out our Reddit sub. Be sure to tell us in the comments what you think the movie should be rated or what movie we should record next. And be sure to follow us wherever podcasts are found. Join us and get caught up for our next Attack on Anime episode as we cover episodes 14, 15, and 16 of Attack on Titan coming this Thursday, November 14th. Also, check out our next movie review Monday, November 18th, as we review Hoosiers. We hope you've enjoyed our program just as much as we did recording for you. Thank you, and stay tuned for our next episode.